Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of, if I may, Efuzel or fortisselle here on Instagram. So I found this by accident. I think it was on my Instagram page recommended, or it was recommended in the homepage. And I do like their work. They kind of remind me of, I forgot the artist's name. Like it starts with Z. They also use maybe not to this extent, but pastel-esque kind of colors like Z. I reviewed their work way back. ZEEN. Oh, I'm forgetting, but Z something. Anyway, let's explore their work here. I think I found. I'm not sure which piece was recommended, but let me just look at. I think they're using Clip Studio Paint based on the UI. Look at the way it's painted. Okay, they do have a bit of a line art going, but it's so thin. I like how the proportions, the shapes are kind of, yeah, it's stylized, but it feels a bit more sculpted. And I think obviously the painting helps. But you can tell in some parts it's kind of exaggerated a little bit. I mean, if you focus on these drawings over here, I like how it's not too crazy, but at the same time that you can tell it's somewhat stylized as well. So they have that like nice balance, I guess. And they do have a lot of these like dashy kind of lines when they render as well. It kind of reminds me of Lion Decker. I know Lion Decker is not the only guy who does it, but it's just like a common guy to reference. Basically, it concerns adding like these hatch strokes, but you don't do it via pen. You do it via a paintbrush. So it's going to be a lot thicker. Obviously, it's going to have color, but it looks good. I mean, even the pants here, look at how the folds look great. Even the way the shoes were done, the socks, it looks really. Take away the painting, it would still look sort of aesthetic. Interesting. If you look at the line art, I don't even think it has like pen pressure. I can even see some gaps and some edges. Right? And they don't really mind it because eventually they're gonna paint over it or under it anyway. So it's gonna fill in those gaps, or those gaps will be filled in eventually. But and obviously from the colors alone, it's so like pastel. It kind of reminds me of some of the recent work of FENG. I think there was an old channel in YouTube called China Digital Painting. It's gone now for some reason, which is so fucked up. Because, but yeah. I think it's a he, but they eventually switched their work into line art and then line art with colors, and the colors tend to be more like this, where it's very pastel, very like pink, blue, and I do enjoy it. Even though I don't do it myself, it's still something that seems easy on my eyes. I don't know, maybe it's because of the lower contrast as well. It just, even for example, if you look at the shadows here, it's not even that dark. Some of the shadows even have a bit of saturation in them, like it's kind of like a light, vibrant blue. Interesting, they even added like a contour line for the shadow, very interesting. And the shadow has a bit of a gradient as well, although it's not done with a gradient tool. I think it's done manually, meaning it's blue and then they painted and mixed the red with the blue, right? And then made like a gradation thing to sort of level, to sort of create this like transition, but you can still see like the edge, right, with those paint strokes. But look at that. You know, some artists will like take the character and then make it one shape and then skew it to the ground. But in this case, I think they just did it manually, which does look a little better in my opinion if you do it manually. It doesn't even have to be that exact, right? But it, you know, it just has a different vibe to it. The folds again, the clothing, very cool. And again, the dashy sort of strokes there. I don't see them use a soft brush too much, or some kind of blending tool. I think they like to do things manually in this case. It does look very opaque, meaning I don't see a lot of opacity types of brushes, meaning you can see the strokes beneath, kind of layered, like it has a layered look to it with the brush strokes you have. This one is more like, I think of a gouache painting where it's more opaque. Very cool. But I want to see the note here. Wait, let me just read it. Me reaching into a bowl of ice cubes to chew while I paint a pink girl again. Ice cubes. Oh, we have some nice feet here. Again, oh, the hair, it's kind of like, they almost look like clouds to me. And the way the hair is like chunked up, it kind of similar to how the dog, or was this a bunny? I'm not sure what this thing, what's wrong with the ear? Oh, maybe that's hair? I don't know. Yeah. Look at the way the hands were rendered though. Like how, I mean, yeah, there's some line art, but it's not like a line, a typical line art. It's like a painted line or a pseudo line, as some people would say. Like it's done after the sketch or alongside the painting. So in a way, the lines are just painted in, right? But I like how they describe volume. The shadows are not too strong. Again, low contrast. But it has enough like difference in value that you can tell what that thing is. So it kind of suggests form, but look at that. It's so cool. It kind of has a like rounded corners. I don't see a lot of like sharp corners in their work. Maybe it's because they focus a lot on like organic forms anyway. It kind of makes sense. It's similar to how, you know, people who like focus on like mecha designs, they tend to have more straight, obviously because it has a lot, there's way more sharper corners, right, for those types of things. So it kind of makes sense to have a bias for more sharper lines. Even when they do characters, you can tell a lot of the corners tend to be very pointy and sharp or angular, right? Even painting effects like the what's that, a teardrop or like sweat, the interlocking of hands, really cool. Now the faces, it's kind of like, it's anime-esque, but it's not that much. It's more formy, it's more 3D at this point, which can be tricky. But I think it's not, it's a little different from like typical anime stuff. It's more, fuck, it kind of reminds me actually of Limedecker. I know I mentioned like the dashy thing, but like the way it's painted, it seems like a traditional, it has that kind of vibe, that classical painted vibe. Like you would see this kind of these types of illustrations in like a magazine or something, or like a can of beans or whatever. Interesting creatures here with the long nose. Maybe it's a Pinocchio inspired thing, but okay, we do see quite a bit of hue variety, especially in the box. Like they just like adding all sorts of like pastel-esque colors. The shoes are really cool. Even the socks, right? Oh, seeing a bit of pink underneath. Maybe that's how it's actually like colored, but sometimes it's hard to say, you know, is it like a literal color or is it more of a stylistic thing? And again, look at how the hair is painted. It looks so chunky. It feels like it's like it has volume, like it's a very 3D object, right? Yeah, this one feels more like an oil painting. Can we? Oh, by the way, I just noticed this. I'm not sure if this is always the case, or maybe I have a plugin turned on. I'm not sure. But if you look at my Instagram, it has like 5 columns. My bad. Sorry, I think let me just write something down. I think my laptop just lagged a bit. So annoying. So I have to like write down a time code. So I can like cut things out. Anyway, so I was saying hopefully it wasn't cut. I'm not sure, but wait, what was I talking about? Brain fart. What the? Anyway, let's move along. Oh yeah, I think I was talking about Instagram. Is this like a new thing? Like when I use the PC version, because I'm on my laptop, it has like a grid view like this. Because in the past, it would still, whenever I would zoom out or zoom in, it would always be like a 3 grid kind of thing or a 3 column thing. I mean, I know the recent change was the 4:5 kind of ratio. I mean, I knew that, but I'm not sure if it's a plugin or if it's just a new thing. By the way, once this video comes out, it's gonna be late, so because it's like scheduled in advance. Oh wait, okay. But I think it's a new thing in Instagram, which I do like because the grid view looks really good in your PC. If it's in your phone, fine. You can just leave it as like a 3-column thing. I think it makes more sense that way. But having it like this, you know, it just looks good. I mean, even if we scroll through their feed right now, it looks nice. And if Instagram was like a photo based, an image based, I mean, yeah, videos as well, but platform, why would you not do this? You know, incorporate the grid view. Anyway, another pink sort of fairy kind of person, girl. I mean, look at that. Oh, look at them titties. I'm sorry. Easy. Yeah, it looks super opaque. Again, with the pastel-esque colors, the pseudo lines. You don't have to do it, but I think it kind of works. And sometimes it just looks good. And in a way, it kind of saves time, because if you had to like define everything with like negative values or shapes, meaning you don't have actual like lines like these to describe an edge, it can take a bit longer, I think. But by adding that line, you sort of make the edge very noticeable and almost pretty much undeniable, which I think they're showing a bit of their Gucci. Anyway, again, the painting of the sweat or something, it just looks so consistent. Like it looks polished, but not in like it's not like Sakimi-chan polished, but it's finished looking. But you can still see the strokes. I don't know. It definitely has like a painted look to it. To me, it just looks very finished. Maybe if you're not a super rendering kind of person and you like doing painted stuff, this could be like a path for you or for me. Because I'm more of a painter, but well, they do break down their values. For example, they don't really use soft or brushes too much. They kind of layer things in this kind of way, where you can see like a segmentation of that transition. It's not like one soft gradient. So again, their darkest value is like a dark blue gray, but that's it. Maybe this one is a bit dark, but it's very minimal. And again, look at their color history here. Look at that, very pastel-esque. Oh, this one does have way more line, or it's just not as painted. Whoa! I like it. It looks great. I like the shoulders. You know, I often see artists who, especially like the anime-esque people, they add like a highlight for the shoulder. I'm not sure why. Is the shoulder kind of red? I mean, I get it for like the boobies, the thighs, but the shoulders, I don't know. Maybe it just looks good that way. I don't know. Again, the line art is at that like, maybe there's a bit of texture there. I mean, there are some like bleeding points. Maybe they have the velocity turned on in the brush size settings. Give it that look of a bleed. I don't know. But you don't really see hatching in the line art. It's all just contour, basically on the outer sides of the shape or shapes. And then some flats with some nice simple rendering. I like her clothing here. It looks so good. Even though it's not like not painted in this level, it still looks complete to me. I guess it's because everything has been like allotted, or like, you know what it is, only because there's like a clear shape around it, a clear silhouette. It has some nice simple rendering to kind of help distinguish that thing from, for example, the clothing from the skin. Oh, I like this part where the fat kind of goes up a bit. To me, that's a very cool detail because it kind of makes it feel a little more realistic. That's kind of tight too. Look at that. Look at them thighs. Oh. And look at the calves. They're kind of exaggerated, but it looks good. And that's the thing about art. You don't have to, yes, you kind of have to follow rules, but it doesn't mean you have to like totally abide by them. Like you can bend, right? You can air bend. You can art bend rules. And just exaggerate things a bit, maybe tone things down, depending on what you want to focus, what you don't want to focus on, stuff like that. Even the hair, very minimal like lines on the outside. Maybe in the inside just a bit, and then the rendering kind of place. Very cool. Even the flowers look cool. Fuck. I want to see this. Oh, baka. Kawaii. Baka. Something is happening here. I'm not sure if it's like a... Is something happening? Oh, look at the combination. Right? The line art, that's kind of... It's not the first draft, obviously. It's a little more polished, more Oh, look at that hand. Very cool for shortened hand. Right? And to me, it's interesting how you can make fingers. Like, how do you draw fingers when it's literally pointing at you? Like, it's gonna end up like becoming more of an ellipse at that point. But learning how to do that, I think, is really cool. I think it's a cool looking hand. Oh, so the guy here with the lighter clothing, or chick, who knows, is pulling this other person in blue towards them. Oh, baka, kawaii. I see a lot of hearts, so... Oh, the word kiss is right there, so... Maybe they're having a bit of a moment. Oh, I'm sorry. Kind of reminds me of an anime, like this reincarnation prince, 7 prince something. Like the colors of the main character, they're very like blue and pink. Very pastel-esque. Yeah. And the rendering, look at the highlights here. The very like aqua cyan-esque kind of blue in some parts. Some purples. It's all in the cooler side, but the warmest thing here is like the pinks. The pink hearts, the pinkish kind of skin, the pinkish, reddish kind of under, or the colors inside this sort of thing. Here as well, the face maybe. And the ears are kind of red. It looks good. Why does it look so good? And again, the rendering, look at how they can sculpt the forms. And you can still see like the edges, the strokes. It kind of reminds me of that cut out kind of look. We've talked about this in the RGB playlist or series. It's like it's a very common like rendering illustration style for like games, like concept art for games. Just think the kind of like where they render it in a way where the shapes are kind of sharp. Like you can see the edges. So it kind of has a little bit of that. Yeah. Oh, this one's kind of cool. I do see some environments, but we can visit that later. Okay, it's taking too long to load. We'll try this. Oh my, why is it taking... My internet bad? Kind of low quality. Maybe I have to open it from here. How about this guy? Oh my, why is it taking so long? Okay. Oh yeah, wait. Okay, we'll start here. Okay, look at the very thin line art, and then the combined that with the look at how the face is way more rendered, right? But you still have that bit of line art in the edge, in the contour. Same thing for the hair, right? But everything within that is like painted. I think she has like a toast or a bread. It's one of those things in anime where, in like a high school kind of anime where the character's like running to school and they have like a toast in their mouth. It's like such a classic thing. Look at them knees. Those are some nice freaking knees. Do you see how the hand is like super exaggerated, but it kind of still looks like a hand? Like it's this kind of like bending of the rules that I think I should incorporate more in my own like practice. Now this one's more like warm or pinkish, but the shadows tend to be more on the cooler side, meaning they're more bluish, more purplish, right? Interesting, the eyebrows are kind of rendered too. Like you can see the dashy strokes. Now as you go further out, the detail, the contrast gets less and less obvious. It's so nice. You know, you need to have a good rough sketch to begin with, and then add like because the line art, even though it's not like super, it has like a manual touch to it, meaning it's not super like, for example, this thing here, you can see the endpoint where it begins, where it ends, right? It kind of has this manually done vibe, but this is not the first draft. I'm thinking, like, you have to plan these types of things out. Let's go here. So now we have a more cooler piece. Again, the hands are very cool because they're always like foreshortened, like coming at you. So that's something I want to learn. How does a nail look like when it's coming at you? Like, how does the palm look like when it's coming at you? Like you can learn like a lot of shorthand techniques just by watching how people do their artwork. And it's safe to sound like you don't have to learn everything by yourself on your own, by your own mistakes. You can save time by learning from other people's mistakes. And to do that, you just look at their artwork. Like, how did they illustrate a shot in this specific context? And I think you can just capture that, copy it in a way, and then, you know, make some adjustments on your own. And yeah. Again, very thin, minimal line art, and then the rendering takes over. Look at this. I want to see this. The distance more painted. A little more rough, but it still looks good to me. Oh my god, the head is like not attached for some reason. But it still has that pastel-esque kind of colors. Oh my, why is it not low? Okay. Let's open this. Let's open a few more. I want to see some, I think these are like environment shots. Or maybe game art design. Like keyframe art, I don't know. They look cool to me. Either it's for a game or a personal project, hard to say, but it shows you that they can do some environment stuff as well. So they have like a reference here, right? And then they made their own versions, so they kind of drew on top of the reference. And they made their own adjustments. So here we still have like the lines, right? And then they painted over, or they painted to a level where you don't need those lines anymore. Like, you want the painting to stand on its own. It's pretty cool. And they add like some UI stuff for the game. Pretty cool. Look at these. Like, they paint their characters the same way they paint their environments. It has that pastel. Maybe they're using like a filter, some kind of weighted map in the end as well, because it looks super consistent. It's very like Genshin Impact kind of, you know, those like Chinese types games. One day I'll be playing those, by the way. Like, once I have enough money, I'll be buying all sorts of games. Whether for my PC, my PlayStation 5. Oh, I want to have those things so bad. Maybe on my iPad one day, if I have one. Like mobile type games, I want to play those, but right now it's gonna be just my cup of noodles and some occasional anime. But I believe this is some kind of video. Let me just see this. Oh, they have a Patreon, so please check them out on Patreon. Okay. Look at how many times they redrew that, and then even the painting stage or the rendering stage. Some experiment and then they lock in on just rendering the thing. Now, they don't fully paint over all of the lines. I'm noticing in the center they tend to paint over most things, and then eventually the lines. Oh shit, it does disappear in the end. Oh my fucking god. Right? Look at the amount of redraws there. The flats and the painting. And even when they're painting, they will paint over some of those lines to create a new, painted line. So like, it's like a pseudo line art, but it's not really, it's not typical line art. That's so cool. Fuck. So I think we'll end the episode here because I think we've tackled enough of their work. So if you want to check out their work, I will link this page in the description below. And oh yeah, I opened a few pages, but I don't think. Let me just. Okay, we'll start with this one. Okay. Nice. It's more of a painting, but very pastel-esque. I like it. Right. Same thing here. Oh, more of a face shot. Wait, interesting. Look at the edges. It's kind of rough, kind of like this. They have a rougher edge to it, but it's still clean. Meaning the edges are kind of defined. I don't see any soft brushes or blending tools being used. It's just very direct. And you know, darker skin or more tan skin is kind of interesting because you will notice it has way more colors than you think, and it's not just brown, because the first color you think of is like brown, right? But in my own study, sometimes I see stuff like orange or red. Like it's not just brown. I like let me see how they did the eyes here. Right? Pretty cool. Like darker skin with white hair. It kind of reminds me of the character Storm from X-Men. I don't read too much comics, but I did watch like the film when I was a kid. The one with Hugh Jackman, right? And she was always, I think, what's her name? Halle Berry, something. The white hair with the brownish skin. This is so fucking hot. Okay, let's take a back seat. Let's take a chill pill. And yeah, I will link again this page in the description below, and I will see you. By the way, they're close enough. Very close to 100k followers, so you can follow them here. Oh, they have a Twitter as well. Okay. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.